Our words are spells. They construct our entire reality. We rely on them in pretty much every aspect of our lives. And yet, right now, we're living under a dangerous spell. We call our wetlands wastelands. We call our oceans just resources. And we call our forests timber. We reduce living ecosystems to commodities and wonder why we're in the middle of an environmental crisis. So, for the art of possibility, I want to look at ecolinguistics as a way to solve the current situation we're in with the environment, whether this is pollution, climate change, overconsumption. I believe this is the way forward. So, my name is Mallory Malz. I am a senior here at UConn, and I'm pursuing dual degrees, doing natural resources in the environment, as well as honors English. So, this is my nexus. This is where the two of them come together. Last semester, I did an independent study. It was supposed to be focusing on Henry David Thoreau, because nature and writing. What I ended up looking into was this idea of ecolinguistics. So, what is ecolinguistics? Basically, it provides us with the tools so that we can think critically about media that we're consuming and the different storylines that we buy into. If we can engage with these, we can pick them apart to find out what's really being said. So, yes, maybe it is just words, but when you look deeper, there's further meaning. And that meaning is what impacts our actions. So if we're looking to promote action, climate action say, what we need to do is then take a few steps back and figure out what are the stories that we're telling ourselves, what are the meanings that we're feeding to ourselves. If we start the change there, that's where we have the potential for an entire shift in our consciousness. So first, what I'm going to talk about is the dictionary, because I know you all wanted to hear about that. So Reinhard Huberger looked into English monolingual dictionaries. How do we define things? This is our basic breakdown. So he looked at anthropocentrism. He wanted to look at human-centeredness. How do humans see themselves and see themselves in relation to other things? Is there an idea of sort of otherizing? So again, this distance, this gap. So in 2022, he breaks down the different definitions. So you got this monkey, right? The dictionary says it's a small South Asian monkey, often used in scientific experiments. It is completely defined in its relationship to human beings and its ability to be used. Next, we have the shark, which anybody who knows me knows I love my sharks. The shark is a very large fish, and it has very sharp teeth, and it may attack people. Do we understand the connotations of having this as our definition? It inherently demonizes a fish, the shark, for just being. So we can take ecolinguistics to think critically about the very words that we're using and the connotations that they imply. Now I want to talk broader about the stories that we talk about. So starting with framing. Framing is the packages of knowledge that we have about certain areas of life. And what we do is we apply those packages to other areas of life. And that's kind of where we get into our metaphors. And our ideologies are sort of social beliefs. It's how we determine what's right and wrong, what's good and bad. It's very highly tied to action. So for example, a damaging framework that we have could be nature as resource. This right now is pretty much what we're living under, wise use. This idea that nature is simply something to be exploited. What would it mean to then change that narrative. There's a way that we can shift the framework from object and ownership, just the idea that nature is ours to use, to dominate, and to destroy. What does it mean to shift to something else? First, we have to be aware of it in the first place. So, moving into ideology, I have a particular case study that some of my business friends might not like so much, but we're going to talk about neoliberal economics. So in this ideology, people are defined by what they do. You've got the consumers who consume, you've got the owners who own, you have the investors who invest. Everybody is simply what they do. And because all of us buy products, because all of us are consumers, we are living in this framework, in this ideology, that consumers maximize their satisfaction through purchase. The only way to be happy is to buy. To keep on buying never stops. Economic growth, or unlimited economic growth, requires unlimited consumption. So even in this idea that we are all consumers, we are then perpetuating a system that allows for overconsumption. How often are you engaging with the themes that are underlying everything that constructs our lives? Again, looking at our framing, looking at our metaphors, and looking at our ideologies is how we can then peel back the layers. This is how we can move forward. So this brings us into a sort of value and action cognitive hierarchy. Basically, if we change what we value, that's how we can change how we act. If we want to see a world that's more environmentally sustainable, if we want to see climate action, we need to change our values so that they're more conducive to this. So, for example, if we are to value our own lives more, then we can value outside life more. Where are we placing our emphasis? Where are we placing our cares? And again, this shift, this isn't something that is going to be easy. And obviously in American culture, there is this idea that people's value comes from doing rather than being. I mean, when's the last time any of you have really heard, like, just by being you're enough, just by being you have an intrinsic value? So if we can stress these ideas, if we can bring these forward and foster a society that believes in this, then we can have environmental impact. Everything is so complexly tied together, just like an ecosystem. Now, this sounds great in theory. You know, might kind of sound wishy-washy, me just coming up here and preaching about how the environment's great. So, what I want to talk about is a workshop that was done. So online, the guy who wrote the eco-linguistics book, his name is Aaron Stibbe, he made an online course called The Stories We Live By. Basically, you can go through, and it teaches you a lot of these techniques, how to break down how we see the world, how to question it effectively so that we can see a new reality. Mariana Roxia in 2021 went through people who had done the course, and what she found was that it actually did have a significant impact, that this idea of eco-linguistics actually did matter. It changed people. It changed how they saw the environment. It changed how they did their daily chores. So there were a number of comments left on them. I'm more aware of my surrounding environment, and I'm more conscious of my interaction with nature. I changed my lifestyle. I'm living happier, more natural, and positive life than before. These changes are purely due to what eco-linguistics gave me. I worked with the NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association, and helped to change their message. And I changed the editorial direction of the small press I run. So this isn't just wishful thinking. This isn't just think about the environment and maybe we'll end up with not destroying it. No, this is how you get to that place. Change begins with a single word. What will yours be? Thank you.